It's now time for the Firebirds Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to May the 25th of the year 2023 when the Milwaukee Admirals were in Coachella Valley to take on the Firebirds. Game 1 Western Conference Final. Best of 7 series. Winner of this series goes on to compete for the Calder Cup. We are 19 seconds into the series in the first ever meeting between these two teams. What a strange circumstance to meet for the first time ever in Game 1 of a conference final series. Anyway, 19 seconds into this first ever meeting, it's Askarov coming up with the first ever save against Coachella Valley Firebirds. It comes on Lind, and that, of course, with the shoulder, the first shot on goal of the game 102 of the first period. Delgado hitting the crossbar, 2:12 of the first period. Decord coming with a save on Sherwood. That would be the first shot on goal for the Milwaukee Admirals. But at 3:54 of the first period, it would be Milwaukee with an undisciplined penalty, too many men on the ice. That's going to lead to a conversion for the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Karche, his third goal of the playoffs, was a wrist shot from the high slot. No traffic. Sort of a troublesome goal for Askarov here early in Game 1 of the series. So Milwaukee, an undisciplined penalty, and then not necessarily the best goal against Coachella Valley, has a 1-0 lead on home ice. But the Admirals would respond as they have done so many times throughout the playoffs. It would be Kemmel with his 6th goal of the playoffs. It was a deflection of Wilsby's long shot, tying the game up at 1 apiece. The Admirals did not wait long, less than a minute, tying this game up at 1 apiece. 5:24 of the first period would be McEwen off the box, 2 minutes for tripping. Sanford would get a great shorthanded scoring chance on the rebound jam. Decord would come up with both of those stops, and that would lead to a scrum after the whistle. At 9:01 of the first period, Evans would be off to the box, 2 minutes, and it would be a slow to organize power play for the Milwaukee Admirals. They would pick up one strong chance right near the expiration of the power play on a favorable back wall rebound that came behind the netminder Decord, but Decord was able to collect himself and find the loose puck and fall down onto it before the Admirals could do any more damage. 14:55 of the first period, Afanasieff is off to the box. He's picking up a 2-minute minor here. Skarov is coming up with a save on Lind, and that would be all for Coachella Valley on this power play. At 18:49 of the first period, would be Skarov coming up with a save on Wright. We hit the end of the first period, tied at 1 apiece. Coachella Valley Firebirds with 11 shots on goal, but the Milwaukee Admirals only five shots on goal in the entire first period, and too many trips to the box. At 57 seconds of the second period, it's Decord coming out with a save on Sanford. At 1:53 of the second period, Askarov coming up with a save on Pagansky. At 4:01, Askarov a save on Rafferty. 5:28, we see Terensky off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping. We would have a continuation, and during that continuation, we would see some physical play. It would be McCarron and Wicho ultimately ending up in the box, 2 minutes each for roughing. A hard hit led to some scrumming it up and face washing after the whistle. It ends up evening up with those two, giving the Admirals the original power play. It would be Schultz, though, scoring a shorthanded goal off of the rush. Not seemingly to be that tremendous of a shot either, but it was good enough to beat Askarov. The defenseman knifes through the Admirals while they are on the power play and scores a shorthanded goal, putting the Coachella Valley Firebirds up 2-1. Decord would come up with a save on Phil Tomasino as the power play had plenty of time left over. Then Decord would come up with a save on Sherwood as well. At 7:40 of the second period, Askarov comes up with a save on Polarowski. At 7:50 of the second period, it's Phil Tomasino's first goal of the playoffs. He completes the 3-on-1 rush with Delgado and Huntington, and Phil Tomasino ties this game at 2 apiece. Great to see Phil Tomasino finally getting on the board with a goal in these playoffs. At 10:22 of the second, it's Decord coming up with a save on Delgado. At 13:34, Askarov comes with a save on Wright. At 14:32, Olofsson's off to the box, minutes for tripping on Luke Evangelista. Evangelista doing a good job working the puck down into the slot area and trying to get even closer to the net when he draws the penalty. Decord would have to come up with a save on Ratcliffe during the power play, but that would be the Admirals' best and only scoring chance. 19:40 of the second period, McCormick hits the crossbar from long range. Another shot from long range that seemed to elude Askarov on the win. At the end of the second period, Admirals a little bit better with shots on goal, now 15 for the game, 10 in that period, doubling their first period total in the second period. Coachella has 21 shots on goal for the game. We go into the third period on the clean sheet. We're 152 into the third period. It's McCarron coming up with this second goal of the playoffs. It was a wrist shot from the high slot and just outstanding movement by the Admirals, leading to this scoring opportunity and goal. The Admirals have a 3-2 lead in the third period over the Coachella Valley Firebirds. 6:07 of the third period. It's Decord coming up with a save on Tomasino at close range. 6:26. The Scarf comes with a save on Petman, but at 7:22 of the third period, it's McCormick's 8th goal of the playoffs. It comes at the end of an awful series of misplays by Milwaukee. The netminder, the defenders, the forwards, all of them guilty. And this is not the first time I have had to have a description of a play just like this. It was an easy finish by the end for McCormick. Again, his 8th of the playoffs. Milwaukee Admirals simply screwed this play up in every way you could possibly do it. The only thing they didn't do is shoot it into their own net. But other than that, they did everything wrong and everything right to help McCormick score this goal. Just absolutely maybe the worst goal against in the entire playoffs when you add up the number of mistakes made over a sequence here. 3-3 hockey game in the third period, but immediately 8:09 to the third period. Podorowski's second goal of the playoffs. Wrist shot off of the rush. Again, seeming to be a long shot. Not much traffic. Didn't seem to be a high degree of difficulty, but it finds its way to the back of the net. 4-3 now in favor of Coachella Valley Firebirds. Timeout. Milwaukee Admirals Carl Taylor has utilized the timeout to settle the squad down and reverse momentum before. Let's see if it would play out that way. 10:54 of the third period. McCormick, his 9th goal of the playoffs. It was a wrist shot from the high slot after an offsides was clearly not called. That gives Coachella Valley a 5-3 lead in this game. And 11:13 in the third period, it's McEwen off the box, 2 minutes for charging. Overall, decent PK by the Admirals, but losing this time right here certainly is hurting their effort. 16:47 of the third period. It's Decord coming up with a save on Tomasino. We hit the empty net scenario. Scaroff off to the bench with 3:13 remaining at 17:44. That's where we see McCormick completing the hat trick, his 10th goal of the playoffs, and it was into the empty net, giving Coachella a 6-3 lead. At 18:06 of the third period, Huntington would get his second goal of the playoffs. A long shot through traffic finds its way to the back of the net past the court. 6-4 now in favor of the Coachella Valley Firebirds, and that would be your final at the end of game one. Coachella Valley Firebirds outshoot the Milwaukee Admirals 29-22. It was a game where the Admirals led in the third period and they end up losing by 2. They just simply did too many things wrong to ever possibly win a playoff game, especially against a team that has been as hot and is offensively gifted as the Coachella Valley Firebirds. We have a lot to talk about from that game, a lot of analysis, a lot of detail, and stats, box score, all of that still coming up right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. That was the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah!